let me ask you something. What if that fish on your plate isn't just dinner, but a silent decision maker in how long you live, how sharp your mind stays, and how strong you feel day to day? Sounds dramatic? Maybe. But after 4 decades as a doctor, I've seen firsthand the difference one food can make, especially after 60. I'm Dr. James Morgan. I spent over 40 years caring for older adults, and now that I'm retired, I've made it my mission to share the truth, simply, clearly, and without the hype. Today, we're diving into something many folks overlook: fish. Not just any fish, but the ones that either help you age well, or quietly chip away at your health. Some of them act like armor, protecting your heart, brain, and bones. But others? They load your body with toxins, speeding up memory loss, inflammation, and decline. And the worst part? Most people over 60 are eating the dangerous ones, week after week, thinking they're doing something good. So here's my goal in this video, to give you the facts, backed by science, in plain English. Because when it comes to aging well, your food is your medicine, or your mistake. Now I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Drop your city in the comments below, and while you're at it, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I've got a lot more to share, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Part 1. 4 powerhouse fish that protect seniors after 60. Fish number 4, rainbow trout, the gentle brain booster. Let's start with one of the most underrated champions on your plate, rainbow trout. Now, it doesn't always make the headlines, but for older adults, this mild, flaky fish is a quiet powerhouse. But because it's typically farm-raised in controlled, freshwater environments, which means far fewer toxins and far less mercury than you'll find in ocean-caught varieties. And that matters a lot. As we age, our liver and kidneys don't flush out heavy metals the way they used to. That makes mercury a much bigger deal. But rainbow trout? It's one of the cleanest choices you can make. Safe, reliable, and full of the good stuff your body actually needs. Like DHA, a powerful omega-3 fatty acid that keeps your brain sharp and your memory intact. I've seen it in my own patients, like Eleanor, a 72-year-old who was starting to feel a little foggy. We added trout to her meals twice a week, just lightly baked with olive oil and lemon. Within 3 months, her energy was back, her mind was clearer, and her daughter told me, she's more herself again. That's the kind of impact this humble fish can have. But there's more. Rainbow trout also delivers vitamin B12 for nerve and red blood cell health, selenium to boost your immune defenses, and high-quality protein to help preserve muscle strength, something we all start losing after 60. And don't worry if you're not a fan of strong-tasting seafood. Trout is delicate and easy to enjoy. Plus, it's soft enough to chew if you've got dental work, and gentle on the stomach for slower digestion. This is truly a brain-friendly fish, with benefits that go far beyond the plate. So if you're looking for a simple way to protect your memory, your muscles, and your overall vitality, rainbow trout deserves a regular spot in your weekly meals. Fish number 3, herring, the old-school heart saver. Let's talk about a fish that might remind you of your parents, or even your grandparents, herring. Now don't let its old-school reputation fool you. This small, silvery fish is a true gem for anyone over 60. Packed with omega-3s like EPA and DHA, plus a hearty dose of vitamin D, herring does more than just taste good. It helps your heart keep ticking strong. Here's why that matters. One of the biggest silent threats as we age is arterial stiffness. It creeps up slowly, making it harder for blood to flow freely, raising your risk for high blood pressure, strokes, and even heart attacks. But the omega-3s in herring? They help keep those arteries flexible, like oil for your body's engine. Studies have shown that seniors who regularly eat oily fish like herring can cut their risk of fatal heart events by up to 30%. That's not hype, that's science. And the benefits don't stop there. Herring's soft, edible bones are a natural source of calcium. No tablets, no chalky supplements. Just real food doing what real food is supposed to do: strengthen your bones and protect against fractures. That's especially helpful for seniors who've been told they're low on bone density but can't tolerate strong supplements. Another reason I often recommend herring to my patients? It's low on the food chain. That means it doesn't carry nearly the same toxin load as larger fish, making it one of the safest choices in your seafood aisle. It's also incredibly versatile. You can find it pickled, canned, or smoked. Add it to whole grain toast, toss it in a salad, or pair it with boiled potatoes and fresh herbs. It might not win any glamour awards, but trust me, this is one of those foods that quietly does the heavy lifting for your health. So if you're serious about protecting your heart and bones without breaking the bank or popping another pill, it's time to give herring another look. Fish number 2, wild-caught sardines. Tiny fish, big punch. Now here's a little fish that delivers in a big way, wild-caught sardines. Don't be fooled by their size. These small swimmers are some of the most nutrient-packed foods you can find, especially for aging bodies. Let's break it down. Just 1 can of sardines gives you more than 120% of your daily vitamin B12 needs. And that's important, because low B12 can lead to fatigue, memory problems, and those tingling sensations in your hands or feet that a lot of older adults think are just part of getting older. Sardines are also loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, which lower inflammation and support healthy brain and nerve function. If you're on statins or blood pressure meds and often feel a little drained, there's good reason to look here. Sardines are a natural source of coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10, which helps boost cellular energy and supports your heart. And here's what makes sardines extra special. They're low on the food chain, which means they carry almost no mercury or industrial toxins. They're also incredibly easy to prepare. Whether canned in olive oil, tomato sauce, or mustard, sardines can be mashed into a sandwich, tossed into a salad, or blended into a creamy spread. You don't need to be a gourmet chef to enjoy their benefits. In fact, they're perfect for seniors looking for quick, healthy meals that nourish the body without the fuss. This tiny fish really does pack a powerful punch, supporting your heart, brain, bones, and energy all in one bite. Fish number 1, wild-caught salmon, the all-in-one longevity food. Taking the top spot on our list, wild-caught salmon. This isn't just a fish, it's nature's version of a multivitamin. For seniors, especially, this one checks every box. First, let's talk brain health. Wild salmon is rich in long-chain omega-3s, particularly DHA, which helps protect your brain from shrinkage and age-related memory loss. Studies in older adults show that regular salmon eaters have better recall, sharper thinking, and even improved mood. But the benefits don't stop there. This fish is a heavyweight when it comes to muscle support too. With about 22 grams of high-quality protein per serving, salmon helps fight off sarcopenia, the gradual muscle loss that leads to weakness, falls, and loss of independence in older adults. Add to that potassium for blood pressure control, and you're looking at a true heart helper on your plate. And here's something you might not expect. Salmon also keeps your skin youthful. It contains astaxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that protects your skin from damage and improves elasticity. That means fewer wrinkles and more glow. Plus, wild-caught salmon is naturally lower in contaminants than its farmed counterpart. No dyes. No unnecessary antibiotics. Just clean, vibrant nutrition the way nature intended. Cooking it? Couldn't be easier. Bake it with a drizzle of olive oil and lemon, or toss it on the grill for a smoky finish. No matter how you prepare it, wild salmon is one of the smartest and safest foods you can eat after 60. It protects your mind, fuels your muscles, smooths your skin, and keeps your heart ticking strong. All in one delicious bite. Part 2. 4 dangerous fish seniors should avoid at all costs. Warning number 4, farmed tilapia, the inflammation trap. Now let's shift gears to a fish that might look harmless, but can quietly work against your health. I'm talking about farmed tilapia. It's mild, cheap, and everywhere, from grocery store freezers to cafeteria lunch trays. That's exactly why so many older adults choose it without thinking twice. But here's what you need to know. Most tilapia on the market is farm-raised, often in crowded, poorly regulated environments overseas. These conditions require heavy use of antibiotics to prevent disease outbreaks. And those drugs? They don't disappear. Traces can linger in the fish and end up on your plate. But the bigger concern isn't just the antibiotics, it's the fat content. Farm tilapia is high in omega-6 fatty acids, and that's a problem. Unlike the omega-3s that fight inflammation, omega-6s, when eaten in excess, do the opposite. They stoke the fire. Chronic inflammation is behind so many of the struggles we face in later life. Heart disease, stiff joints, foggy memory, even Alzheimer's. In fact, some studies found that tilapia contains more inflammatory fats than a greasy hamburger or even bacon. And the worst part? It's marketed as a light and healthy choice. But in reality, it could be silently accelerating the very conditions you're trying to avoid. So if you're seeing tilapia served regularly, in ready meals, in dining halls, or even at home, it might be time to reconsider. There are far better, safer fish out there, and we've already talked about 4 of them. Tilapia might seem convenient, but for seniors, it's a convenience that comes with too high a cost. Warning number 3, king mackerel, mercury in disguise. Next up is a fish that sounds healthy, but hides a toxic truth, king mackerel. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mackerel is oily, rich, full of flavor. It must be good for you, right? Well, not always. While some types like Atlantic or Spanish mackerel offer great benefits, king mackerel is a completely different story. This variety ranks among the highest in mercury content of any fish sold today. And that's a serious concern for older adults. As we age, our liver and kidneys lose some of their efficiency. They can't flush out heavy metals like they used to. That means mercury builds up, quietly. And the symptoms? They're sneaky. Tremors in your hands. Brain fog. Sudden mood changes. You might chalk it up to getting older, but in reality, it could be toxic overload from your seafood. I've seen patients who struggled with forgetfulness and anxiety, only to find out their weekly grilled mackerel was part of the problem. And here's the kicker. King mackerel is still sold at many markets and restaurants without clear labeling. Sometimes it's just listed as mackerel, so you'd never know unless you ask. It might be fried, grilled, or worked into seafood stews. But the risk remains the same. So here's my advice. If you like mackerel, stick to Atlantic or Spanish varieties only, and make sure it's sourced responsibly. Because when it comes to mercury, even small exposures over time can lead to big consequences, especially for seniors. Warning number 2, swordfish. Heavy metal overload. Now here's a fish that looks elegant on the plate, but hides a serious threat beneath the surface, swordfish. It's meaty, firm, and often served at upscale dinners or vacation buffets. But don't let the presentation fool you. Swordfish is a large, long-living predator. And over time, it absorbs massive amounts of mercury from everything it eats. That mercury doesn't just sit quietly in your body, it accumulates, especially if your detox systems are slowing down, as they naturally do with age. The result? Silent damage. I've seen it too often, seniors with tremors, insomnia, or memory lapses, assuming it's just old age. But for some, it's mercury toxicity, quietly building up from diet. And here's the part most folks don't realize. If you're on medications, statins, blood pressure pills, or anything that stresses the liver, swordfish becomes even more dangerous. That's because your liver is already working overtime, and mercury adds to the load. The damage may not show up overnight, but it builds, slowly, steadily, and silently. Seniors with heart or kidney issues are particularly vulnerable. And because swordfish is seen as a special occasion dish, it often flies under the radar. But make no mistake, it only takes occasional exposure to cause long-term harm. So if you're planning a seafood meal, skip the swordfish. There are better options, like wild-caught salmon, that offer all the flavor with none of the risk. Warning number 1, farmed Atlantic salmon. A wolf in salmon's clothing. Now here's the one that surprises most people, because it sounds healthy, looks healthy, but can quietly sabotage your health. I'm talking about farmed Atlantic salmon. Let's be clear, this is not the same as wild-caught salmon. It might look similar in the seafood aisle, but it's a completely different animal beneath the surface. Farmed salmon is often raised in cramped pens, where disease spreads quickly. To manage that, fish farmers rely heavily on antibiotics, and sometimes even pesticides to fight parasites like sea lice. These chemicals don't just disappear. They build up in the fish's fat, and eventually in your body. But that's just the beginning. Farmed salmon has a much higher ratio of inflammatory omega-6 fats to omega-3s. And that's dangerous. Because chronic inflammation is the hidden engine behind so many age-related problems: arthritis, memory decline, heart disease, even cancer. And it gets worse. These fish are often fed artificial pigments like synthetic astaxanthin, just to make the flesh look pink. That color? It's not from a natural wild diet. It's dyed. And many farmed salmon are genetically modified to grow faster, raising even more concerns about long-term safety. For seniors already managing blood sugar, cholesterol, or inflammation, this is a risk you don't want on your plate. Multiple studies have linked regular consumption of farmed salmon with increased rates of obesity, insulin resistance, and exposure to persistent organic pollutants. So here's my simple advice: always read the label. If it doesn't clearly say, wild caught, don't buy it. That low price tag might be tempting, but the hidden costs to your health are far greater. Choose the salmon that nourishes, not the one that poisons slowly in disguise. Every time you choose a fish, you're making more than just a meal decision. You're choosing the path your health will follow, towards strength, clarity, and independence, or towards silent decline. It's that simple. After 60, our bodies become more sensitive, more responsive to what we feed them. And fish, believe it or not, plays a much bigger role than most people think. So here's your takeaway. Stick with the lifesavers: rainbow trout, herring, wild-caught sardines, and wild salmon. These protect your heart, brain, bones, and more. And be sure to steer clear of the silent saboteurs: tilapia, king mackerel, swordfish, and farmed Atlantic salmon. They may look healthy, but they're loaded with toxins, inflammation triggers, and long-term risks. So now I want to hear from you. Which fish caught you off guard? Have you been eating one of the dangerous ones without realizing it? Drop your answer in the comments. We read every one. And if this helped you make a smarter choice today, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who deserves to age strong, just like you. Because when we share the truth, we save lives, one plate at a time.